Live from the studios of Joy 99.7 FM, I bring you warm greetings. Thank you so much for joining us here for another edition of Sports Today. Is this Sports Today? This is the Joy Sports Link. Sports Today is on television, on the Joy News channel, and it's on every weekday from 2 p.m. But of course, the Joy Sports Link is here after the midday news every Saturday. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. It's great to be here with you. And of course, it's been a very interesting week with a lot of twists and turns. What a qualification to the final of the UEFA Champions League. Congratulations to the Manchester City faithful. You also did monitor what we brought you on First Take yesterday on the radio. The arguments about who the greatest is in terms of managerial capability. So you'd always have to catch us on First Take as well every Friday from 1:30 p.m. here on Joy 99.7 FM. In recent days, the Ghana FA has launched an initiative called the GFA School. And topmost in terms of the targets for the GFA School are retired footballers. Of course, before that as well, we did monitor some of the conversations that came up about our ex-footballers and how they should build their capacity. Of course, it was not presented in the best way possible. But there was a fundamental point about the building of capacity of our former footballers, especially those who want to remain active within the space. So what are the realistic options for our footballers after the playing career on the pitch? Most of us are used to seeing former footballers go into coaching. But is coaching the end, the beginning and the end? We're going to be bringing you a few examples from, outside of Ghana. And that will set the tone for the conversation here on Joy 99.7 FM. As we spend time with our guests here. 3 guests here in the studio. And of course, while the guests here in the studio bring their expert opinion and their specialist opinion, I'll be glad that you also join us on 055-1111-997 on WhatsApp. It's 055-1111-997. I'm here backed by the rest of the Joy Sports team. You can also tweet at us. It's at Joy Sports GH on Twitter. And so thank you very much for joining us. We get into the conversations very shortly. We're glad to have you here. This is the Joy Sports Link.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And of course, Bet365 is now officially live in Ghana. So if you love your sports, what a better way to get a piece of the action than just joining. Bet across a range of markets. And of course, the markets of the biggest on sports. Build your own personalized bet with the Bet Builder by selecting from popular markets. You can make up to 12 selections within a single match. Enjoy all your favorite sporting events and access the thousands of games with live streaming. Place your bets before the match kicks off, or you can also try in-play betting during the live game. Remember, Bet365 also lets you cash out on your bet early on selected markets. Sounds good, right? Visit the official site at bet365.com.gh and join. It's for over 18s only, remember. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Celebrate me now when I day alive. Appreciate me now when I day alive. Don't be say when I live this life, you go the fake up for my back. LMO for it, you be big name. If I you be big.
Celebrate Me by Pato Ranking in the background, setting the tone for us to start off what will be a very interesting conversation. 23 minutes past midday here on Joy 99.7 FM. And big greetings to all of our friends who are also joining us via the live stream on YouTube. You're free to join us with your thoughts. It's +233 55 11 997. Greetings to you, Felix Adai, joining us all the way from Ohio. Always regularly listening and bringing us your thoughts on these subjects. Top of the afternoon to you, Felix Adai. All right, so I'm going to bring you some examples. I'll just give you a few examples of, some of the international stars that we know away from here. So I'll talk about David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Gary Neville, JJ Okocha, and Samuel Attoh.
If I feel they go love me, now my mama now him buff me.
So David Robert Joseph Beckham. That's his full name, huh? David Robert Joseph Beckham.
Same people when I turn they go yab me.
And of course, after his playing career, after retiring from soccer, he's traveled the world due to his philanthropic activities as a UNICEF UK ambassador. He's also invested and collaborated and partnered with Adidas, Diageo, L'Oreal, Tudor watches, and Hague. Also, he started and was a model for underwear line company H&M in 2012. He also owns MLS soccer team Inter Miami CF.
Now when I alive, not be say when I live this life, you go to fake I'm for my wife. Celebrate me. Now when I
So loads and loads of activities and endeavors of the man David Beckham. Let's talk about Thierry Henry. Now, Thierry Henry has won almost everything in his career. This includes the FIFA World Cup, which he won in 1998 on home soil. The UEFA Champions League with Barcelona as well. After retiring as a player, Henry decided to work as a coach and started his coaching career. He was the assistant coach of the Belgian national team and picked up bronze during the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. Thierry Henry is currently a commentator on CBS Sports, where he analyzes Champions League matches. Now, Gary Neville, after his playing career, is currently a co-owner of English football club Salford City. After retiring from football in 2011, Neville went into punditry, was a commentator with Sky Sports until he took over as the head coach of Valencia in 2015. And after he was sacked a year later, he's been a pundit for Sky Sports. He was also assistant manager for the English national team between 2012 and 2016. And of course, just before I introduce to you my guest here in the studio, let me just focus on, two African legends. Now, I'll tell you about the dribbling wizard. I'm talking about JJ Okocha, Austin JJ Okocha. Now, JJ Okocha, remember, has worked as a pundit on several football platforms, including SuperSport. And of course, he worked with one of my guests here in the studio, whom I'll be introducing to you very shortly. And of course, he's also worked, on a couple of television commercials. Some of them play, on SuperSport as well. Made some investments in real estate as well. And of course, Samuel Attoh.
Appreciate me. Now when I lay alive, don't be say when I live this life, you gonna fake I'm for my body.
Well, in 2020, he started studying business administration at the Harvard University. I'm talking about Samuel Attoh. And of course, later on, he contested the presidency of the Cameroonian Football Federation and won. So he's currently serving as president of the Cameroonian Football Federation. Of course, we also do know that he's made massive investments in transportation, real estate, and the telecoms industry back at home in Cameroon. These are the exploits that some of the known names and faces have gotten up to in their respective, areas of endeavor after football. Now let's talk about the gentleman that I have here in the studio. First of them is currently serving as assistant coach of Ghana's under-17 national team, under-17 men's national team, the Black Starlets. He has played at every single level when it comes to international football for Ghana. So I'm talking about the Black, Starlets, which he's assistant coach now. He's played at the level of under 20. He's played at under 23 and has played for the senior national team as well. Featured in many other tournaments for the senior national team, excluding the FIFA World Cup. He's here with me and has worked, very diligently as well, where he served as under 18 coach for the Right to Dream Academy. Also held another elevated role immediately after that, and currently has been working sometimes as a pundit. Served on the FIFA World Cup. He served on the Euros as well. On our channel here was one of our biggest hits when he served here and used the touch screen. Laryea Kingston is my guest. Coach Laryea Kingston is one of my 3 guests here this afternoon for the show. Thank you very much for joining us, Laryea. It's always great to have you here in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Next to him is a man who decided to just get back into the space of working as an agent. Now, before that, he also recorded something very significant in terms of serving the national teams. He has seen it all and has done it all, just like Laryea Kingston. And of course, he has tasted the action, just like Laryea Kingston, in the Ghana Premier League and has gone out there and played as well. Served at the under-17 level, under-20, under-23, and on for the Black Stars as well. Yussuf Chibsah is one of my guests as well. Yussuf Chibsah is key coordinator within the space of the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana. Also joining us for the conversations is the player relations manager of the PFAG, Philip Asiwa. He is a player relations manager of the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, which is the Ghanaian arm of FIFPro, which is the welfare arm of FIFA. Gentlemen, good to have you here in the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and Laryea, I must congratulate you and your head coach, for the exploits of the under-17 team. Rather unfortunate, Ghana's under-17 team couldn't play in the recently ended under-17 AFCON.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
An experience, a pretty cool experience, isn't it? I mean, taking the team out there and trying to get some good results for the team.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate that we couldn't. It's rather unfortunate that we couldn't qualify to the main tournament. But all the same, everything happens for a reason, and I'm very honored and privileged that the FA gave me the opportunity to come and show whatever I've learned after football. For me, I think it's always important to serve your country. So me getting the opportunity to coach the youth national team as an assistant, I think it's a honor to come in and then enjoy the moment. It wasn't easy because the trials was very intense. Almost 300 players coming to Pram.
300 players. Wow.
Almost 300, and then we have to build myself and my head coach Karim Zito, my assistant coach Jacob Netti, and then you talk about all the technical team, our team manager, everybody work tirelessly to make sure we have a team that can represent the country in that 4-nation tournament that happened in in Serbia, before going to Saudi Arabia as well. I must give thumbs up to the playing body as well. They did very well. They responded very well to everything that we taught them. All the phases of play, they understood it and they executed in all the 5 games that we played. So thumbs up to them as well.
Well, I want you to tell me how the feeling is. I mean, if you have to watch a tournament that Ghana could have easily been playing in, and a tournament that Ghana has won before on 2 occasions in our history, and here we go, we're not there, and you see the quality of play, it's high up there. However, you feel you can even do better. How did you feel watching the teams play? sitting back and watching them play when you knew, the Black Starlets could have been playing this tournament?
Yeah, that's why I said everything happens for a reason, But watching this just ended U17 tournament, looking at the strength of the teams, I think teams are improving, Teams are improving because I believe coaching education has also gone up. That's why we are seeing positive play in most of the games that I saw. But looking at the level of the teams that played in that tournament, and looking at the current U17 that we have, I sit back in my couch watching the games, and I keep telling myself how I wish this crop of players that we have now are in this tournament. They can pull something out, because I saw the level of the teams that are playing, and then saw the level of the U17s that we have now. I think we are capable of dominating everything that I saw in the tournament. The typical example is we tested our muscles against the big guns in Europe, and before winning a major tournament or World Cup, you have to beat the best in Europe. We look at Spain, the Spanish team that they have, best youth national team, and then talking of their senior team, they can play good football. But the current under 17 team match up to them, and they dominated play throughout the 90 minutes. You're talking about Serbia that have good youth system, that have produced a lot of top class players in the world. All the big leagues in the world, you go there, you find Serbia players that are playing very well. You go to Switzerland as well. Their Swiss national teams are not minnows when you talk about world football. So them going there and then showing what they showed, I think Ghana football have future. All we have to do is to just focus on what we are doing and try to educate the boys like we are doing now. And trust me, we are not far from achieving something.
Let's get Chibsah's thoughts, and let's zoom into the conversation now. In recent days, we've seen the Ghana FA launch what is referred to, what is now known as the Ghana FA School. And one of the primary targets are former players, the likes of you, so that it becomes the one-stop shop for everything capacity building, so that if there is a program that is not available within our jurisdiction, that Ghana FA School will facilitate it. How have you received this on your end at the PFAG?
Thank you very much, Nat. I think the initiative was welcomed. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, as it's one of the areas that we've been preaching all this while. We've been trying to encourage our colleagues and former players to at least try to step up a little bit. It's not everybody who is interested or who wants to become a coach or who can become a coach. Not all ex-players are capable of being coaches. I mean, you should possess certain qualities beyond the playing that should make a difference, just as Lai is doing now. So if we have more opportunities, more avenues for people to actually look at instead of just coaching, that is a plus. And we give thumbs up to the FA for this kind of initiative, and we encourage those who really want to take advantage of that shouldn't waste much time. The PFAG is also rolling out something like that. We had preliminary discussions with KNUST. We already have a collaboration with the Johan Cruyff Institute, where some of us are still learning. So it's a good initiative, and we should take advantage of it. The launching is not enough if we don't patronize the product or the initiative. So we have to encourage members to try as much as possible to make sure they take advantage of this opportunity.
Well, if you just joined us, we're here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. And my guest here in the studio are ex-Ghana international and coach Laryea Kingston, and also Yussuf Chibsah. Yussuf Chibsah is a lead coordinator of the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana. Philip Asiwa is the player relations manager at the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana. And today we're just looking at the realistic options that are available for footballers once they're done with their respective playing careers. Share your thoughts with us. Share some of your stories with us. Let's have a full conversation. This is a family conversation. This is your conversation. And that's the reason why we're here for you. Philip, thank you for joining us. Now, can you give me a little brief about your role, on a daily basis at, even though it sounds very self-explanatory?
Yeah, so, sorry, thanks for having me, Nat. So what I do at the union is that, I work with Yussuf. He's my head, and as an ex-player, I understand what it means to also be in the game, to play, go for practice in the morning, come back after, just whiling away time, because, you are pretty free when you're playing, because that's all you do, go for training, 2-3 hours, you have...
Eat, sleep, and wait for the next training session.
Yeah, and most of the time you're only doing maybe one session a day, so you have a lot of free time. So for me, what basically brought me to the union is, being an ex-player, going back to school, getting my master's, because I did my undergrad at Liberty University in Virginia. I got my undergrad degree there. I came back, I played locally for Mediama. I won the 2015 FA Cup with them, and eventually I had to call time on playing. So after I went back to the University of Ghana Business School to do my master's in international business, and I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm into farming. I run a gym as well. So when it comes to what I do at the union, it's basically player education, going around, visiting the clubs, and you end up realizing that most of these players don't know what is expected of them, as professionals, because they are playing in a professional league. This is all they're doing. And even when it comes to signing their contracts, they don't even take copies of their contracts. They don't know what is even inside their contracts. And so then, it's almost as if you're just waiting for what next. So what we do is we go around, we educate them about, their obligations in the contract, and also the policies that the union has rolled out for them. Because we have insurance packages that we had running out. We had it running for 3 years, and no player even, after they were injured or anything, went to, claim, their compensations, even when they had injuries, because they didn't even know that these things existed. So
and this is today, 2023.
Yeah.
These things are happening today.
Yeah. So my job basically is to go around to the clubs. At the moment, we've done 14 of the 18 Premier League clubs. We have the 4 clubs in the Brown Alpha regions to go. We go around, we tell them what the union stands for, that the union is for them, the current players. And so it is important for them to be a part of it. If they have issues regarding their contracts, they shouldn't go elsewhere. Just come to the union. We have a legal department. We have lawyers that we pay for that will address their issues for them. And, both locally and internationally, we've won so many cases. Cases like Bene Champon and all these things. We represented them. And some people even go to the extent of, lying to these guys and trying to tell them, oh, I'll fight for you and all those things. And I think was it last week that I was talking to my boss, and he was telling me that somebody who was, due to receive a $300,000 compensation settled for $60,000.
Why?
Yeah.
Because somebody told them that they could help them get that amount, and they just let go of $240,000. And that's how bad it is.
I see.
So for us, it's all about education, just going around trying to tell them that the union is for them, get them to come on board, because once we are together, then we are powerful. We've negotiated for standard minimum contracts with the FA, and an agreement has been in place that at the start of next season it will be implemented. So we are just expecting that they will do that as well. So these are some of the initiatives that the union is doing for the players.
Wow.
And not the saddest part of that issue is the guy is injured, he's incapacitated, and he can no longer play football.
Wow. The one who settled
deserved,
for
yes,
who deserves 300,000 and settled for only 60,000.
And even that 60,000, he has not received it.
He hasn't received the money.
So can you imagine how bad his situation is?
Wow.
And how things can easily turn around with football. And this why I mean, whilst playing, you don't have to mess around with your finances, irrespective of how much you are making. You have to respect and appreciate it, and do something out of it.
I'd want to get into your minds back some years back when you were wrapping things up, and the way you thought at the time. But before that, I'd like you to once again run everybody through what it takes to be part of the PFAG, because those who probably are getting inertia, from what Philip tells me, people who get inertia feel, it's going to cost an arm and a leg to be a part of the association.
Yeah.
I'm going to have money deducted from my already not so good salary and all of that. What does it take to be a part or be a member of the PFAG as an active player?
It takes virtually nothing. You only have to complete the forms that we have, the membership forms, which is at a zero cost. You don't have to pay anything. Complete the form, attach your passport size photograph, and that is all. We process your ID card, then we register you on our database, and you are a member of the union. Then you stand to benefit from every opportunities that the union has.
What kind of commitment is everybody supposed to make? For instance, a player who plays, in the Ghana Premier League and in other leagues, the Division 1 and all. What kind of commitment are they supposed to make to keep them in good standing?
Well, I think the only commitment is, first of all, to become a member, and then to get in touch whenever you have a problem or you don't understand anything. That is all that is there for them. I mean, the union is there for them. So without them, I mean, the edifice there is nothing. So they just have to get closer whenever they have some misunderstandings and all that. And one part that we've been stressing on or hammering on when we go around educating the boys is contractual dispute. Most of them tend to walk away when they have some outstanding salaries, which is not right. When you do that, you are absconding and you are not respecting your contract. When you are being owed some salaries, you just have to go through the right channels and then continue to train until the issue is resolved, or you go through the procedure to complete whatever it is. You still have to continue to train. Otherwise, I mean, you had a case, but you might end up losing the case.
Let's begin with you, Lai. You came back home after the surgeon in Europe and all of that, in different destinations in Europe. You played in Russia, you played in Scotland, you played in the Netherlands and all of that. And then you decided to come back home. You played for Accra Hartsville before wrapping things up. Now, what was running through your mind in those years as you got closer and closer to hanging your boots, regarding what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I have to be very honest. When I was playing football, and when I even realized that I'm coming to the end of my playing career, coaching is the last thing on my mind.
It was the last thing on your mind?
Yes.
Why?
Coaching was the last thing on my mind, because I felt, and then also it comes with the family. I felt football have been taking me away for
a long time.
And in my mind, my wife keep advising we should try to invest more, so that when I finish my career, then we can have time to manage our businesses. So at the end of my football career, in my mind, I wanted to stay away from football and then manage the investments that we've done with the family, and also have time to see my kids, be with the family throughout, because we have to be honest, football always takes us away from home. So that was the mind. If not, I had opportunity in Scotland. Every international break, the PFA from Scottish PFA brings opportunity for professional footballers to be able to go into coaching. As I'm talking to you now, Robin Nelson, the current Out of Midlothian manager, used to play behind me. He's my right back. But now he's a manager. During that time, international break, I will be coming to the national team matches, and then he will go to the course. Most of Jose is from Portugal. He's also one of the top managers in the Portuguese league. During that time, they go and do their coaching badges. But for me, that time, it wasn't in my mind that I would be a coach. I wanted to do something else, like just relax, stay away from it, watch football for fun, but not to get into it like I was doing as a player, because it takes a lot. People doesn't know. People think footballers enjoy life all the time. No, it takes a lot of you, especially when it comes to family. I tried that after my career. I tried to be home, take care of the kids, take the kids to school. From there, going to the office, stay in the office. Tried that for a year, and I felt, no, this is not for me. Something is telling me that my future and everything is into football. And also watching the game. If I'm watching football game, I look at it like I see so many things happening in the game. And sometimes when I'm watching with friends, I talk about it and be like, it's more of I'm analyzing the game, situations and everything. Once a while, some top men that when I was playing, they were managing. A person like Tom Vernon, that coached me in Olympics and Accra Suffolk. Once a while, he will call me and he will say, "What am I doing?" I tell him, "Oh, no, I'm managing my small businesses and all that." And then he will be like, No. Why don't I go into coaching? Then I keep asking, "Why do you think I can be a coach?" He said, "No. Didn't I know that when I was playing football, I coach as well? You know, I direct players on the pitch whilst I was playing." So
and he was Tom was telling you this, what he had noticed about you
when I was
during your
player.
playing career.
Yes, that was what he told me. Then we just laugh about it and then just go. Once a while, former FA president Nyantichi also will call me, checking up on me, and then he will tell me the same thing. Others will tell me the same thing. I was there one time, and then I had a call from former President Nyantichi that there is a course happening in Winneba. If I can join, that would be great. I said, okay, I will join. So immediately after he hung up, then I made a call. Within 12 hours, I was at Winneba, waiting for the rest to join for the course. That's how come I started having interest in going into coaching. And trust me, I have not regret one bit. I'm enjoying every moment, every day. It looks like a calling for me. If I'm watching a game, so many things pops up into my head. You know, people will say, what you read in the books, or what you educate yourself is what will, that one will guide you. But everything you see or every tutor will tell you, you have to take it your own, and then you have to listen to it, but make it your own. That's how you own it. You take it your own. Like, let's say, example is Right to Dream and FC Notchland, their style of playbook have about 100 and something pages. All the 8 phases are there. But if I'm reading it, I make sure when I'm on the pitch and I'm presenting it to the players, I make sure I take it as mine. You know, I make it my own, and then change so many things in that. So for me, I believe that everyone have to have the same mindset and then improve. Because football, there is no right or wrong in football.
It's dynamic.
It's dynamic. There is no right or wrong. Sometimes you can prepare very well. You know, preparation doesn't start from when the 90 minutes is starting. It starts match day 3, match day 4, even weekly periodization starts from there. When you're going to train, when you think the players have had load, when you have to give them some rest to come back the next day looking fresh and all that. It's all preparation to the main game. But you're still not a prisoner to every plan that you have. You're still not a prisoner for your game plan. You go into game and you have just one game plan. No, it won't happen. Maybe the game plan that you brought on is not working. Maybe the opponent have also understudied you. They are countering whatever you are doing. You also have to understudy your opponent and then counter them. So for me, I think I see myself going into coaching is a calling, because people keep telling me you have this, you have that. Beginning, I wasn't aware. But when I went inside, now it's part of me. I sit down and talk football. When I start to talk football, things start to come into my head, and I can talk football all day.
Wow. He talks football all day. He was playing football all day. Now he's talking it all day. Yussuf, I want you to share yours with us as well. Everyone saw your exploits here in Ghana when you played at every single level, just like Laryea, went to the Mundial and all of that with Ghana. But what was it for you as well? And this decision to get into an area which was really lacking, in our football ecosystem, representing players and creating a platform for them to run the other side of their business, which is, like you said, the contracts, the welfare issues and all of that. When did you take the decision? How did it come about?
I think it all started when I set up a WhatsApp group in Sweden while still playing. At a point, we had a lot of Ghanaian players there, so I was more or less like a senior brother or a role model to them. And to make things easier for me, because we're all scattered around various cities in Sweden, to make it more easier for me, I set up this WhatsApp group where I had all of them under the umbrella. So that is where we interact, discuss. Usually we start discussing from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those who played on Friday, we discuss their game. How was your game? Crack some jokes. So we were talking football and talking about ourselves. And also over there we used to discuss issues outside football, like how to file their tax returns, when they want to invite a relative, how to go about it. Because I was used to the system. I knew how to go about all these things. So I was helping them with all these things. And then, like Laryea, I never had any intention to coach. I've never been fond of coach. Just for one incident that I witnessed at the Accra Sports Stadium when I was playing for the Satellites, Coach Afrani. Yeah, I came out. The game was against Algeria, and I think I came out in the second half after 70, 75 minutes. So I was on the bench for the last 15 minutes. Then I saw the way the fans were throwing bottle of water and insulting him, his relatives and all that. So I turned back and looked at the crowds and I said, wow, it's not going to be an easy job to be a coach. And since then, I've never wanted to be a coach. So for me, coaching was out. It has never been. All this while, I had in mind to go back to my accounting and finance after my footballing career. But then this WhatsApp group that I set up in Sweden, some of the players in there started approaching me that, hey, you're doing a good job for us. We don't get those services even from our agents. So why don't you think of going into that role? Ruben Ayana was one of them. Daniel Amate was one.
I see.
Majid Waris, Isaac Shays, David Akam, Enoch Edu Kofi. So all these boys, they keep pushing me actually, Nasiru Mohammed. Because when I was coming to the end of my career, I was playing for a club in Gothenburg. And Nasiru was in Gothenburg, Ruben Ayana was in Gothenburg, Isaac Shays was in Stockholm. And so they were close to me. Almost every day we were hanging up. And they keep on pushing that idea to me. Waris was also in Gothenburg with Heken. So I said, okay, let me just give it a trial. So actually, when I decided to quit, I had 2 more years left on my contract. But I sat down with the club and told them that, look, there is something that is taking much of me now, and I would like to concentrate on that. And so if we can mutually come to an agreement for me to quit. The coach tried to persuade me, but I said, no, I think I want to give this a trial. So that is how it all started. So right after quitting in 2016, I started with all these boys already as my clients. And here we are today.
Wow. Send us a message, 0244, sorry, 055 388 055 1111997. Beg your pardon. 055 1111997. Philip, I want you to share with us as well what you see regarding, the everyday stories of players and the uncertainty about settling on something specific, when they are done. What are the factors? What is it that keeps them away from taking that bold decision and planning towards it? From where you sit, what have you noticed? You've been in there before, you've played before, so you're thinking on 2 ends.
Yeah. So, I mean, education is always a big factor.
Okay.
You know, once you're blessed like some of us, I mean, for me growing up, my dad was so big on going to school. So even when I went to high school in Pope John, in Pope John, I wasn't allowed to play football. So most of my mates, even after I got out, didn't even know I could play.
Who wasn't allowing you? Your
My
parents?
dad, yeah.
Okay.
My dad was very, very big on it. So we will play inter classes and I'll be the goalie for my class. You know, just be able to play because everybody's trying to get in. So it was after I left there, that was when mates that I knew, you know, they saw me playing, they'll be like, wow, we didn't know you could play. It was just a few people. You know, so obviously being blessed in that regard, once there is education, it comes with exposure. And once you have that exposure, you know, your mind thinks differently. So you can process things differently. You're looking at what the average person sees you don't see. So in terms of opportunities that comes to you, it's different. When I was playing in Mediama, I mean, we always had issues with, you know, money and all those things, but I wasn't even relying on them. I was like doing other stuff that was bringing me income and even loaning, you know, guys money and all those things, just because I wanted to be independent and I didn't want to rely on the club and all those things. And that's how I've always thought, you know. But the average person doesn't, or the average footballer, most of the time, you know, if they are lucky enough, they have their SSC degree. Most of them probably, you know, do with, you know, their basic education and then that's it. They want to focus on playing and all those things. And for us as a union, that's the biggest thing that we always, you know, advocate for and encourage them, you know, just to be able to take the next step and then also look at things from an educational point of view, because you have so much time. And it's not all about, you know, just going to class or anything. Just picking a book to read, you know, definitely it changes you. And it could be books about football, it could be books about, you know, autobiographies that, you know, ex-players have written, ex-coaches have written. And all these things, you know, gives you a different perspective about life, you know, in general. And, you know, even how to, you know, take your career to the next step. Because there might be something hidden in you that you might not even know, or somebody might not even tell you. And, you know, for us, that's what we always encourage them, that if you have anything that you want to discuss in terms of the next step, always come to us. You know, on Monday when we visited Hearts of Folk, you know, we had an interaction with them. And one of the guys came to me and he said, you know, I want to go into, you know, these analyzing and, you know, stuff like that, because I feel like I'm very good with computers and the numbers and all those things. And that is an aspect that is not so common or so normal in our space, you know, when it comes to video analysis and all those things. We have very few Ghanaians in that space. You know, when the FA is traveling and all those things, they bring, you know, experts to come and do, you know, this kind of job. And this is also an avenue that, you know, the average or the local Ghanaian player can, you know, look at in terms of charting a career way, you know, through that. So, you know, it just goes both ways. Once you have the education, you are blessed in that regard. It gives you an added advantage. But for the others, you also have to make it yours, because our GS always has something that he says. You know, he says that nobody's born dumb. You know, but maybe it might be circumstances that will push you to a certain direction. And it's always up to you to make, you know, the most out of every situation that you find yourself in.
You know, Nat, for me to come in, what Philip said is right on point. You know, we like Chibsah said, not every former player can coach. Chibsah is into something else. It's still football, but admin side. He mentioned something like an analysis and all that. Now, modern football analysts, they are very, very important in the technical backroom staff, because I call them third eye. Now every club have at least 2 analysts, and every game that you play, you need to find the tape. Not even game, even your training. Sometimes your sessions, you need to be filmed, sessions to be filmed, and then I want all my sessions to be filmed. Immediately after that, I take it, and I've managed to educate myself how to cut moments. I've managed myself, if I get a clip, the tape, the full game, I can cut moments that I can use to educate my players for the next session. So, and also when the game is going on, you need an analyst that can be at the top, filming, and then can communicate with someone on the top. I'll give you one example. When I was playing against Serbia, I did not see that much. I can see someone filming, but against Spain and Switzerland, I had it a tough time because I can feel, because against Serbia, none of them have watched our games.
Yeah.
They don't know what, in their minds, they are thinking, oh, a typical African team is coming to play against us. So they're looking at very aggressive, long balls, physical. But when we play against Serbia, that's when they realized, they noticed what we are bringing on board. And they had opportunity to watch that game, and then they started finding a game plan against us. So, but with us, even 2 months before the tournament, I've already started watching their games already. I had opportunity to go on Y Scout to watch their games. So closer to the tournament, I focus on their last 3 games that they played. So I know each and every player, when they are on the ball, off the ball, and on the ball, their style, everything, build up, everything. I know before going in. But the advantage we had against Serbia, they didn't know what we are bringing on board. Yeah. But against Spain and Switzerland, they saw what we are bringing on board. Yeah. So against Spain, I can see that their analyst communicates to the bench.
Yeah, they've scouted you.
Yes. So it made the game difficult. And I noticed I can't sit down and be quiet anymore. I have to be the 12th player for the team. Because when I see them changing something immediately, because I can hear them where we are standing, you can hear the analyst standing out there. So what he communicates to them, I can feel everything. So for me, I think that area, like you mentioned, the player that said he want to go into that, I think it's perfect. It's perfect. You know, when someone said, "Oh, former players should educate themselves," it's not about you going to Harvard or something.
Yeah.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
This analysis is also education.
Yeah.
You can go on the net. Now you can go on the net and then educate yourself with everything, a lot of things. I know a lot of scouts that they got all their degree on the net, online. That doesn't mean they should go and sit in class and all that. So I think it's you nail it for that. So I will urge everyone, not only focusing on coaching, but there are a lot of areas that we can occupy. A lot of areas. Talking of these RFAs all over the regions, some of my colleagues can educate themselves well in that area. Yeah. Go there and compete. Yeah. You see, with that, if we wanted to change the narrative, this is how we can change the narrative.
And not
free consultancy.
To add to what both of them have said.
Yeah.
One thing that is a fact that cannot be changed is either we like it or not, there is a life after a footballing career. One day you'll be out of football. It's either you leave it at the time that you want, or football leaves you at the time that football wants. It's a fact that there will be end to your footballing career, and there is going to be a life after football. We always advise the boys by saying that there is a quote or a saying that life begins at 40. And football, 30, 35, you are done.
If you are lucky.
So, exactly. So that means by the time you quit playing football, you've not yet started life. You've not yet begun life. If life begins at 40 and you are ending your career at 35, that is 5 years short. So what happens then? And therefore, it is very important for every footballer, not only footballer, every athlete to have at the back of the mind that you have 2 lives, you have 2 careers. You have a footballing career or your sporting career, and after that, there should be a career. What do you want to do with that career? Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to be an analyst? And therefore, we are so much happy about this initiative from the FA, But we will also advise, as we are doing from our space, our office, what we are trying to do with the institutions that we are collaborating with is to have tailored programs, models that will suit where we're coming from. You know, it shouldn't be because there's a collaboration with KNUST, we should go there and do medicine or go do engineering. No. I mean, not everybody wants to do that. But if there are courses in video analysis, there are courses in scouting, or there are courses in how to become a team manager, you know, not necessarily degree programs. Short courses, some couple of weeks or a couple of months. These are what we expect to see with these collaborations with the federation and all the other institutions. Something that can really, if it is there for ex-footballers and footballers, it should be able to accommodate them. Because not all players have the qualification to go do masters or to go do their first degree. No. With those courses, you need to have a certain requisite, a certain qualification in order to take the next step. But with what we are saying, what we are discussing here, if they've tailored these models or these courses to suit the target people, then we are going to achieve our goals and our objectives.
And I think with that too, I think they are capable of joining any other school to educate themselves because of they've played football to the highest level. Yeah. Like you go into for your coaching course. Yeah. If you play football to the highest level, you don't have to go and start from C or
you get exemptions.
You get exemptions. So with them, when it gets to that, they can even go to Harvard, and if the course is about football related, they will regard them as someone that can go into a little bit of.
I think the FA has done that.
Yeah. And obviously, President George Weah of Liberia is the highest. He represents the highest height of achievement or highest height of endeavor when it comes to people who have lived their lives as athletes and are now looking at the next phase of their lives. I mean, there are many other athletes who have done great things after football, the likes of you guys who are all getting into something. And I must commend you guys. Look, PFAG has really struck real hard and has really made some landmark achievements since it was established, and we need to give you the plaudits for it. So we've talked about coaching. You are an agent. Philip is an entrepreneur. He's working with he's an administrator within the organization. Now, the other areas, I mean, there are so many other subsets that people can venture into, and it looks like every other time, those in the public just see coaching and a few other things.
I don't think it's only coaching. Like I said, sometimes you can, when you look at the backroom stuff or things happening behind, like when you are managing a football club, there are so many areas. Yeah. There are so many areas that a former player can go into. When you go to Arts of Midlothian now, even technical, what do you call it, equipment officers, they are former players. They are former players. Even someone that coordinates, like on the match day, Gary Locks, he's a former player. Now he coordinates season tickets and all that. He finds himself a job close to football, but not necessarily being a coach or something. But sometimes you should be capable. You should have that competency of the job you are expecting someone to give you. You should be competent enough. Because trust me, most former players think, oh, because I've played football to the highest level, I can be a coach. No. Because I've played football to the highest level, I can be a scout. You have to go through education before you'll be able to know where you are. Playing football is different. Now I can say that playing football was easy for me. We said something from the beginning of our conversation that you go to training 2-3 hours, you are done, you go home, have fun, finish. The rest of the hours is nothing. You just chilling, relaxing, and all that. Coaching is not like that. If you really wanted to be a very good coach, you should plan well. You should be proactive. You should plan well. I will speak for myself. For me, the way I was educated, I don't finish training and tell myself, oh, it's done. I finish training. After training, I go back to the office and evaluate the session. What went well? Sometimes you plan session on paper, it looks nice. Oh, wow, this is nice. Oh, wow. But during the running of the session, players, maybe mentally, they are not ready.
Yeah.
The session will not. Yeah. So you go back and sit down and then look at all these things. Oh, it did not go well. Can I repeat it? Or can I change something? You should evaluate yourself. And then come the next day and then present it again. If you have to progress from where you started from yesterday, then that's fine. If you're happy, you move on. If not, you stay there. It's all part of it. So before you even go stand in front of the players, you've already planned. Coaches are like teachers. The same way teacher is going to lecture in the university, you have to prepare. Yeah. You have to prepare. You have to know what you are doing. So for me, I see it as you need to plan. You need to be capable of or understand the environment that you are in. Of course, you can't do everything. When you get in, you have to make sure you learn. Like when I got to Right to Dream Academy, we have coaches in there that they've been there since. I got in, I know what I want. I devoted my time, spend my time on in the. I spend less time on the pitch, but I make sure I spend longer time in the office. Try to read and prepare for the next day. You see, so if I have to cut it short, for me, I think it's always good to make sure you put 110% in everything you do. And trust me, the results will follow.
And Nat, if we are able to create these opportunities, these avenues, whereby one will be able to study how to become a physiotherapist, if he wants to become a video analyst, he wants to become a scout. If all these opportunities are there, then we'll have people not always thinking about to be a coach. There are the opportunities, but if the opportunities are not there, as we speak now, I'm yet to see a proper, an institution that runs a proper sports administration programs here. We are yet to see. We had a collaboration with University of Management and Applied Sciences. If you look at their models under the sports administration, it's not as detailed as you see
elsewhere.
Exactly. This is why I'm saying that.
So we still do not have any tertiary institutions who are offering properly structured, sports administration.
Yes, so far
programs.
I've not seen. We have engaged KNUST, who have also started sports administration, sports management. They are also trying to upgrade the courses, the models, so if we have all these things, then at least there will be other opportunities for ex-footballers or for ex-athletes to also go into such departments. Not only at the moment, the first option they have is coaching, because not all of us have the requirements to go do MSc or a second degree or something. But so if the person hasn't got that, all that he needs to do is to go into coaching. But if you have these other opportunities, physiotherapists, video analysts, and all that, if we have these tailored programs, it makes it more easier to get more of the ex-players into such departments.
Well, I'll be coming to Philip in a bit to tell me about what he sees when he does all of these educational programs and whether the PFAG makes all of these options available in their training programs. For instance, it's a known thing that PFAG is very big on insurance policies for players, for instance, encouraging them and giving them a proper module and a structure to go through when they want to have a proper insurance policy. In the same way, in terms of planning for the post-active career, what do you put before the players? How responsive are they to what you put before them? We'll be coming to that in a little bit. But there is some good news to share with everyone. And it's because the Right to Dream Academy, of which Laryea Kingston was a part, in recent times, has bought yet another club. This time it's in the US Major League Soccer. And this is going to create new paths and new opportunities for players here in Ghana. You do remember what was done with FC North Zealand and the kind of opportunities that it created for, Ghanaian players and technical people. Laryea Kingston is one of them, Coach Masoud Didi Dramani is one of them. Michael Essien is one of them, and the list just goes on and on and on. Derek Boateng is now a head scout, for Right to Dream Academy. So a lot of things are happening. We'll be speaking to, one of their officials on this groundbreaking achievement and what is going to mean going forward. So, yes, San Diego FC in California is now very much a part of the Right to Dream family. So now Right to Dream is spreading its tentacles wider and wider. So now North Zealand is part of the group, and San Diego FC is also part of the group. Well, in a bit we'll be getting to that, but let's do a round of messages, and after that we continue here on on the show. Remember, you can send us a message. It's +233 55 11 11997 or simply 055 11 11997. This is the Joy Sports Link.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Oh, Joe, I hear Bet Power the B.
You see the guy number.
Have it better.
Check your WhatsApp. I sent them earlier.
With as low as
I'll
state
forward
Ghana
them to you.
business, you stand a chance of winning 1 million Ghana cedis in the 17 picks jackpot.
With no minimum odds to qualify for the 500% win bonus. Bet Power betters have it better.
Hey, that's more Mbappe. Even for the faint-hearted like me, the cash out option there for me.
Bet Power betters have it better indeed. Welcome to a world of big wins and bigger odds. Feeling lucky? Choose from many games within our casino world and play with ease. Enjoy instant payouts and 24/7 customer support. Bet Power, the proud sponsor of the Bet Power Premier League. Welcome to betpower.com.gh. This advertisement is converted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. Not for persons below 18 years. Gaming can be addictive.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. When you place a pre-match multi-bet on football, you go get bonus up to 70% to your winnings if your bet is successful. You can choose from markets like full-time results and both teams to score, from selected competitions including the Premier League, Champions League, and much more. Get this great offer when you visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Joy 99.7 FM.
All right. Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you, Doreen, and thank you very much. Doreen, have you? Thank you very much for the notice. Yeah. So sending your messages, we're very glad to have them, so that you also share your thoughts with us regarding what you want to see our former footballers get their hands into when they're done with their respective careers. Because it's very simple. Sometimes we see them play, we admire them so much, and question is, what next? Because we don't want to have, we don't want the relationship that we have with them in terms of following them to curtail or to be curtailed. So we want to see more of them. And now in the second phase of their lives, what do they get up to? That's the reason why we're having this conversation here. Philip, I was talking earlier about the education drive and what you place before these footballers when you meet them, especially when you're getting their minds ready for life after football. What kinds of conversations do you have with them, and what are the responses? What's the relative response like? Do they, especially when you have a player who's, for instance, maybe like early to mid 20s, doing very, very well. Are these things that they don't take serious?
Yeah, realistically, I think it is, easy for them to downplay the fact that their careers will come to an end.
Okay.
Which is a fact. But, when you are playing, you feel like the money is going to keep coming. It's never going to end. And before you realize you are in your 30s and you are getting done, and you be like, oh wow, it's getting real, And for us, one of the policies that we had in place was a partnership with Fidelity Bank. It was a life after football policy that was, sort of a pension scheme that we had running for them. And when we started rolling it out, the education wasn't quite there, and so the patronage was quite low, and so it died. But I think 2-3 months ago, when we went to meeting at the office, we're trying to bring it back. So we started having engagements with other institutions, trying to revive that policy again, because it's very, very important, because the average person who is working to 60 years, you pay SNIT and all those things as per club regulation, PLB, rule, club licensing, rules and all those things. The clubs are supposed to pay, or they are mandated by law to pay, SNIT contributions for these players. But as regards to if it really happens, I mean, that's a question for the gods. So for us, it was something that we're also trying to do on our side, trying to get this thing, working. And after engaging these 14 clubs, it's been positive, because the players call us and then they ask, when are we rolling it out? So the interest has been whipped up, and hopefully before the start of the new season, we'll start rolling up the policy. And you made mention of the fact that aside football, what next? And they are setting other people like our president Sami Kufuor. He's not really into football, but he has other businesses that he runs. Guys like Derek, he's into hospitality and hotel management and all those things. And there are certain guys who are from the BA regions, which Doma areas, which are big time on poultry, and certain guys who are
that's Ghana's breadbasket, the no regions,
plying their trade outside Ghana. Some of them have made certain huge investments in in poultry and doing stuff over there.
Some have provided accommodation for people.
Exactly, lots of us have gone into building and rent out and all
but
those
that's
things.
we should say it. I mean, look, I remember I'll tell you guys a story. So there was a big betting brand years ago, and I happened to be doing some consultancy for them regarding the rollout of their big day, which is the launch of their product. And they wanted me to lead the conversations on which former national stars to bring on board, so we could and then I kept mentioning the names, and then they went through the list, and so I say, oh, that's our landlord. And it was a real feel good moment. I mean,
the landlord is who?
Laryea Kingston is their landlord. So they were apparently one of their shops was in one of the sure. And it was a proud moment for me. Why do I say that? Because you hear all of these stories of supposed grace to grass, and you hear all of these charity case stories after football, and here is somebody whom I'm very close to. I've seen his story, I've seen and something positive has happened over the years, and it's just refreshing to note. So it's great.
You have no idea how many tenants Laryea has.
Yeah, he has.
I say it pride because he has put in
as the sellout,
this is a positive sellout.
Yeah, it's a positive
because
sellout.
He has provided accommodation for people to have somewhere to lay their heads. It's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
The other time as well, I was having a conversation with some friends of mine. Both of them are in the banking sector, husband and wife, and we're having a chat. They're like, oh, yeah, Sam Johnson. Oh, Sam Johnson is our landlord. I'm like, oh, great, and it's just great. But as we're talking about this, let's also zero in on that conversation about how difficult it is psychologically to channel resources, especially when it's coming in at a time when you have good form, and you don't even want to think about retirement. How easy or how difficult is it to channel resources towards some of these things? Let me use you as an example. Laryea, when he was in his youthful year, switched different hairstyles, would do dreadlocks, would do what you call it,
chilling.
Yeah, colors his cars in different colors, and he was a party boy. He played the football as well. How easy does it become for you to appreciate this thing? I mean, how easy is it? Let's go around the table. Let's begin with you, Laryea.
for me,
was it that you were getting mentorship, or you were getting somebody who was pushing you to Charlie Keshka Bai ni waka BA, you know?
I will say my wife.
Okay.
Until today, she's still, I would say she's stingy. You know,
Okay.
I'm the stubborn type.
Okay.
You know, and you know, they said, oh, where can no play? They just said, you know, sometimes, you know, every week you are earning this amount of money.
Yeah.
So when there is a party in Paris, you have to fly and go and enjoy money, enjoy and come back. You know, but if you have someone checking you, and I will give thumbs up to my wife and my big brother as well. I confide in him a lot. So
you're talking about Richard Kingston?
No,
which of them?
It's called Michael.
Michael Kingston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Kingston. He was the one that was taking care of all my projects.
I see.
Back home, and it will be on my neck if you find a plot of land somewhere that is very advantageous.
I see.
It will be on my neck. So the moment he started calling, showing me the pictures of the thing, and he says this is okay, then all my focus have to be in that. And he knows how much I'm earning every week. So you calculate everything and tell me.
Were there times when
he's a sweet footballer?
Yeah. It was better than me.
I see.
Pardon. It was better than me. It's called Socrates.
There are loads of these stories. Maybe one of these days we should have a show on that one as well. As siblings of great footballers whom we never saw. You know,
Lai's family were made up footballers. From A to Z.
I mean, Abedi Pele's family as well. He had brothers who, you know, were very good. I mean, the Jan brothers also have a brother who apparently is better than, they say is better than Jan himself. And, you know...
Simuados who have passed, you know.
I see. I see.
So as for Lai, those who didn't play, I think they were better than
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Tutuma.
JT.
Yeah. They were good.
Annie.
I see.
Sammy.
So they were all good players.
Wow.
Very good players.
Wow, interesting.
Very good players. You know. So
and you know, and it also reminds me of the mother of the current captain of the Black Stars, Mrs. Maha Ayu. I mean, and I'd say this because this is something I know. I mean, she's somebody who's kept her sons in check.
Oh, yes.
She's responsible for every single thing they've done investment-wise because, I mean, just like your brother, she's also always on the phone and has ensured that they've, you know, and their father, Abedi Pele, at the time when they were living with him, said, you know something? How many cars do you see here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, XXY. Okay, I don't have extra space here to park any other car. So nobody is buying a car to bring here. You want to drive? The cars are here. Drive these ones. But nobody is buying a car for as long as you live here. Nobody is going to buy any extra cars because I don't have the space to park them. And it was a way of checking them. Let's take a listen to your experience as well. Getting the presence of mind and the focus to invest when it's all looking rosy.
Let me speak before Chibsah.
Yeah.
Chibsah, we all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Okay.
In Teshi. With Chibsah, the Chibsah's parents, they are grounded.
Very well.
So if you look at Chibsah's siblings, they are all the same.
Yeah.
Very calm, respectful, hardworking. You know, he used to sell cassava, go plantain, and then we just put it on the corner. We play munchendi. We just put it on his head again, and
go away.
But still go to school.
I see.
You know, and his mom and dad have been in their life, guiding them, and you know, Chibsah respects money. He doesn't joke with money. You see, so from the beginning, the parents have been there and then making sure every coin. Unlike us that we are street boy, we just go. So no.
Actually, Lai has already answered my question. I will go to that. A couple of days back, I had a chat with one of your colleagues, Muftau.
Yeah.
And I think we had a session that.
Yeah, of course. So,
right from the
that's
beginning.
Prime Take on the Prime Joy Prime channel. We're going to bring you a repeat of that on Joy News. Yeah.
For us, right from the onset, we were taught how to take care of money, how to make money. As Lai said, we were hawking, we were helping our parents. My dad was working with state transport.
STC.
Yes. As a driver, international driver, so he was plying the
Abidjan, you know, Ouagadougou, Lomé.
Exactly. Mom was a trader. So we used to help mom. We used to trade with her. We used to hawk, and she will give us, if the plantain goes for 2 cedis, she will give it to you at 1 cedi or 1 cedi 50 pesos. You go sell it for 2 cedis and make 50 pesos.
I see.
Yeah. So right from childhood,
so you picked up the foundations of retail business from that age.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly. So whilst I was playing for Kotoko, like Laryea said, they tagged some of us as being stingy. Myself, Stephen Odo, Uso Ansa.
Hamza Mohamed too is smart, very smart one.
Yeah, you see. So in our community, when you manage properly, they will say you are stingy.
You are stingy, yeah. It's a community of like sharing, you know.
You understand? Because at the end of the day, football is a profession that comes along with fame. I mean, you get famous and popular. Meanwhile, it's not the same economic-wise. You understand? Your name will be here. Your account is will be here. But who knows that? You are the only person who knows that. Those outside might not know. They hear your name and they think that, oh, David Beckham is rich, Lampard is rich, Makalele is rich. They all play football. So if you are playing football and your name is high there, you should also be rich. But it's not like that. And this is one of the challenges we are facing currently with the current players, as to plan life after their football with the money that they are making. Because
they're always pushing to meet societal demands. Is that what you're saying?
The salaries are not enough. Secondly, they don't even come. Recently, we had a Premier League club reportage of players being owed 6 months. Can you imagine a player being owed 6 months? How much is the salary, and how much is he going to save, even to plan the life after the football? You see, so it's not easy. But then, if you get into that doctrine right from that younger age, you are able to do something. My family, I told about my mom and dad now. My dad's senior brother, who was a UN diplomat, he was into farming, and I was closer to him. So I developed that interest right from him. He guided me, and through that, I also got into farming. Even when I was playing for Kotoko, I had cattle, and I had 1 or 2 taxis here and there who were working. So I mean, you should be able to look at yourself first. Right now, if there is something heavy coming from above, I will not leave my head and hold Laryea's head. I hold my head first, and therefore you need to look at yourself and be justice to yourself. Be honest to yourself. If I have 100 cedis in my pocket, and Laryea tells me, oh, let's go sit here. Maybe Laryea has 500 cedis. I have just 100. That 100, my budget should take me 2-3 days. But if I go to sit there with Laryea, I might end up spending maybe 30 or 40 cedis out of the 100. Then I will not be able to reach that 3 days that I have budgeted 100 cedis. So if I say no to Laryea might think I'm stingy. But I'm doing justice to myself. I'm being fair to myself. So one of the areas we always preach to the boys is to be able to avoid negative peer pressure. You know, if you're able to absorb that negative peer pressure, not all peer pressures are negative, some are positive. Because there's a friend who will tell you, yeah, let's go train extra, let's go read books, let's go do this. That peer pressure is positive. It's not negative. So if you're able to say no to negative peer pressures and cut your coat according to your size and the size of your material, you'll be able to do something. Some of us were fortunate, we were able to have our first house whilst we were playing local football. Some were fortunate to have houses when they traveled outside, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to travel outside. So you make hay whilst the sun shines. Whatever amount that you make here, you should be able to at least. If you are not able to build a house, that doesn't mean you're a failure. No, but manage that money very well.
Very well. Very well. Massive education here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I'm here with my guest as we explore the area of trying to figure out life after football and what the realistic options are. Philip, I want you to tell me about, the home-based player. You are a niche home-based player because you fall within the category of somebody who is educated, have a certain level of education, so you appreciate issues differently. But obviously, whatever you were earning from there is still the same as everybody else because you're a home-based player. Now, here are your colleagues and your seniors who are out there making it big, and they are the standard, okay? you see what they do, and you're aspiring to that. Now you have to start from somewhere. Tell me about the pressures that you faced, your colleagues faced, and how challenging it is trying to squeeze water out of stone, and trying to make sure that you put something aside and plan for the future in this whole mix of, the Ghanaian League, and how, the rewards are rather on the low side.
Right. I mean, obviously, as you said, the rewards are on the low because the average Ghanaian Premier League club doesn't really pay, and even if the money is coming, it takes a while for the money to come in. It's just a few of the clubs that are very professional when it comes to, paying of salaries and bonuses and all those things. And when you're playing locally, the biggest thing for you is the bonuses that come in. After games,
winning bonuses, yeah.
Maybe if you are lucky enough to be in the squad for maybe 3 or 4 match days, and they are paying, it's pretty huge. So then you can push, stack that money aside and then try and then do something with it. But I mean, obviously, on the other hand, you have the other aspect of trying to please, quote unquote, the general public or everybody else. Maybe you're a local player, you've been called into U23 camp, or you're lucky enough to go to Black Star camp. Everybody has the latest iPhone, so you're sort of being pressured into, well, hey, Meko Campo, I need to get, I need to match up. So probably, look for money, go get the latest iPhone, or, go and get the latest, cleats or something, because you are coming. The day I is coming. He's wearing the latest Nikes, or Partey is wearing the latest Adidas or something. And you're trying to match up to that. So whatever, the little thing that is coming to you, you're also trying to, live up to the billing and try to be on the same parallel with them. But you just need to understand that you're in different levels. Obviously, the money that they are earning is way above what you're earning, and you just need to appreciate where you are at the moment, because at the moment you're not there, and you just need to, as he said, be honest with yourself and appreciate the fact that this is where I am. I'm aspiring to be here. It's okay for me to have what I have and be content with it. Because, I mean, when I was playing, obviously my friends, Isaac Kofi, Duncan, all these guys, they are playing Serie A and all those things. And, I mean, we'll go out and all these things. And I know where I stand.
Yeah.
So I don't try to overdo myself or be in a certain class or position where I'm not, because that's not who I am. So for the local player, you just need to be honest with yourself, appreciate where you are. Hopefully you're able to get to where they are one day, but take care of your business. And if this is your business, take care of it. Be honest, with whatever little that's coming to you, and try and make something out of it. Because wealth is built. There are people who have had millions of, dollars, and, at the moment they come back and they don't have much. There are also people who have played locally. And as he said, he was able to build his first house whilst playing locally. So the money that he was getting, others also got it. But what he has, they don't. And it's all because of, just being disciplined enough to be able to save however little that you have. Because saving is discipline, and it's a culture. If you're not saving when you're making 1,000, trust me, when you're making 1 million, you can't save. Because you still blow it, because you definitely increase your budget and the money is going to go down the drain.
Now, to share a story, when I went to Sweden, after my first 2 years, I signed a 2 years contract. Then after that, I had an extension. So after the 2 years, I got to know a little bit about the system. Then I realized that I wasted money by renting an apartment. I didn't know the rent I was paying could have gotten me actually an apartment I could own in the form of a mortgage.
I see.
So right after the 2 years, when I extended my contract for 2 more years, I said no to rent. I went to my bankers, had the mortgage plan, and the same rent I was paying, the rent was paying, that same amount was paying the mortgage and even the loan from the bank.
I see.
And after a couple of years, I was able to finish paying, the apartment is mine.
And you are relaxed in their home.
Exactly.
Because in Europe, when you rent a place, even if your child take a pencil, going to write on the no, don't write it.
Yeah,
because when you are leaving, you have to make it clean.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just have to be honest to yourself. I took a loan there, and straight I bought two trotro cars, Urbans. And within 2 years, they saved enough money, and I paid back the loan. So you always have to be honest to yourself. Don't allow
That's a smart one,
external pressure
Yeah.
to have an effect on you. Be honest to yourself. That is the best you can do to yourself. If you don't have, you don't have it. You understand? But as he said, if you want to live up to the class or the status of certain people, man, you don't know how much they are making. You only know how much you make. When I was in Sweden, I knew how much I was making. When we come home, you know, Derek used to be the organizer. When we come down on holidays, he will say, "Oh, sir, this weekend we're meeting here to have some
fun."
Yeah. Sometimes we do meet. Sometimes I will not go because I don't have.
Yeah.
Even though I was playing in Sweden, but I don't have. You understand? I have to be honest to myself. I should not feel shy.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to be honest to yourself. Irrespective of everything, be honest to yourself. That is the best you can do to yourself.
Well, it's time for you to join the conversation. 055 1111997 and 0302 216541. So 055 1111997 and 0302 216541. In a bit, we'll be having a quick conversation with our friends from Right to Dream Academy on that landmark achievement of buying an MLS side. We're trying our best to reach one of the officials, and then after that we can have that conversation. But big greetings to you, Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe. Thank you for always listening to the show. Engineer Dr. Ken Ashigbe is the CEO of the Ghana Telecoms Chamber. All right, so we're waiting. You just place the call through and share your experiences and your stories with us regarding this whole thing about settling in well after an active football career and where you have to channel yourself and direct yourself to. Let's talk about some of the exploits afterwards. We'll go around the table as usual. Laryea, you have done quite a number of things away from coaching. One of the things that have happened, over the course of time has been your punditry, and this is something you've been celebrated for greatly. I mean, you've gone up there. You've done the Africa Cup of Nations. You were there, at Super Sport. You did the Euros with us and all of that. Tell me about that and how the passion grew and all of that. Tell me that story.
I would say, you always have to face your fear. And then confidence, you build it yourself. Because when I was playing, I quite remember my first punditry was in Scotland, when I was in Scotland.
Okay.
There was a moment that I was suspended from a game, and we playing the home game against Celtic. And then I had a call, an email. I had an email that I should go and do it for Sky Sports.
I see.
That was my first time, but I have to gather confidence to go and sit in front of live match. I'm there, people watching me live and all that. So I went in with confidence, and that time I don't have like coaching background. So whatever I knew as a player, that's what I was focusing on. With time, I grew confidence and all that, and then when I moved back to Ghana, I have to always give thumbs up to GTV. They gave me the opportunity. With them, they keep calling me, inviting me there. Started with some small shows, football shows, and then it grew into tournaments, and they gave me the opportunity to be on a lot of Nations Cup, even youth tournament. They will invite me there. So with time, I got a confidence, and then when I went to coaching, then it became very easy because it's football. We're talking football. That's how come I understood the in-depth of the situations of the phases of play, and it makes it easy. So for me, I think it's always have to come with you building your confidence and then facing your fear.
Very well, very well. Chibsah, you you started making the news at a certain point a couple of years ago when you started representing players and fighting for them. There must have been one situation that got you to say, look, aside every other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that justice is served, this person and this person, because this is happening too much. What was it? Something must have triggered all of this.
Yes, you are right. And as I said, when I created that WhatsApp group in Sweden, along the line I had a call, and the call came from Mr. Anthony Bafu.
I see.
The General Secretary of the Players Union. And he actually called because he had followed up on an interview that David Akam made, where he mentioned about the WhatsApp group that we had in Sweden. So he commended me and told me to keep it up. This is how it should be. We have to be taking care of each other because we are representing Ghana wherever we are, and it's a good thing that I've started. So he brought me on board the PFAG and player relations department. We started working, and then at least I developed more passion for this than what I had earlier on thought of doing. That is going back to my accounting and finance. So I think I always give I say a very big thank you to him and the players. Actually, they actually helped me to find this path rather than going back to my accounting or
and as for the accounting, this man was always the troublemaker for the administrators. So Yussuf Chibsah is the man who always creates trouble for the administrators, because anytime issues of bonuses come up and the administrators are trying to manage the situation, he goes and brings out a calculator. You know those ones that you see in the big...
Dr. Andabe sold me. He sold zeros. Dr. Andabe he sold me out on this.
Chibsah has been this thing, what do you call it? How am I
Treasurer?
No.
Or what?
You've been quiz.
Yeah, quiz master.
Quiz master.
Yes, I see.
National team.
He and Steven up here. They used to challenge each other. And Trump.
I see.
Aziz and Sunday, he will run.
They used to do spellings, and I'm the quiz master.
He's the quiz master. He will be marking.
So there's a famous story. That story we shared one day, maybe in a documentary or in a storybook. But Yussuf Chibsah, I'm sure he's kept that calculator. We should put it in a piece of glass because that big calculator used to shake. It used to ruffle a lot of feathers, from ministers to the sports ministry to government officials and all of that. So let's pray. If you're an administrator and you want to manage any strike or anything in your office, please make sure you don't find Yussuf Chibsah's calculator. That calculator
I don't
is
always
troublesome.
make trouble.
I'm just talking trouble in quotes. So 0302216541, 0302216541, and also 05511119997, 05511119997. While you make all of these efforts, do you find some of your members, and let's focus on active players, do you find some of them still veering off the track after all the training, after all the effort that is put in to facilitate all sorts of things for them? Do you find some stories of, okay, for instance, somebody has been a member of the PFAG for 5 years and has been given access to putting, like, getting on a hedge fund, doing an insurance policy, getting extra education and all of that, and then you along the course of time you realize that this person hasn't exactly adhered? Do you have any such stories?
When it comes to
okay, Philip, before you answer that question, let me get on the phone line, speak to our first caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hi,
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yes.
My name is Nathaniel.
I'm Claude, calling from Tema.
Very well. Please go ahead.
I want to know, is that live Kingston with you in the station?
Say that again. Laryea. Yes, that's him.
Oh, that's very good.
Sure.
Yeah, when I heard it was part of the coaches for the under 17, I was very happy. because Laryea has been good. The unfortunate thing for me was he couldn't play at the World Cup, and I felt so bad. So when I heard he had been part of this coaching team for the under 17, I felt so proud about him. I think he should keep it up. Thank you very much.
Very well. Thank you very much. 0302-216-541 and 055-1111-997. Back to you, Philip, for the point.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of education, you can always talk to them and always educate the players, tell them what they need to do and all those things. But the ultimate decision always comes from them, and sometimes they are not patient, because especially when it comes to these arbitration cases, most of them takes a while, even if it's a local case, you have to file the case to the player status committee. Maybe it takes a while for them to sit and rule, then it goes to if the club doesn't maybe pay whatever they are supposed to pay, it has to go to the DC for them to
sometimes
enforce
appeal
it.
First.
Go to appeal sometimes before eventually it gets to DC. So these things takes time, but sometimes they are not patient. Sometimes they are in a hurry to get decisions and all those things, and that is when it becomes easy for these third party or quote unquote guru boys to come in and then lie to them and tell them that, oh, I can get this thing down for you, and eventually
And then the trouble starts.
So.
Let's get back on the phone line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
Yeah, Nat. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is Kweku Obinkisi from Union Gona.
Sure.
Yeah, and now this is a very good conversation. I love it. And then let me say, these guys should educate their friends, and then those ones that are coming now. Okay, but their education is very, 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 very necessary for them. Look at how they are doing now. So please let them educate them. Especially their football ages. You can't even play more than 20 years. And then the rest will be for you to do your own business. Look at the investment they've made for themselves. And now, I can say they are now okay now. So please, the ones that are coming up, they should please educate themselves very, 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 very well. And a very belated birthday to Lawrence Osebwako. I don't know whether Chibsah played with him at Asante Kotoko. I'm Saleh Nedjidin goalkeeper. A friend of mine at Mount 7. Thank you very much, Nat.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so let's it's time to start wrapping it up. Would have everyone give us final words as we look forward to the future. I mean, there's still a lot of work to do, because every other day we're churning our footballers. Every other day, people are hanging their boots as well. Like
for me, my last words would be, like the former players and even the current ones, before they even retire, they should think about what they wanted to do. Me, for instance, I was lucky. Maybe someone have seen something in me and then try to motivate me to go into coaching. But they should try and start now to identify what they wanted to do after their playing career. And then when they finish and you still wanted to get close to football, make sure you educate yourself well. If I'm saying education, it doesn't. I'm not telling you to go to Central University and do medicine or something. Make sure you educate yourself that you get a job around football.
Very well.
Like we mentioned. So that's all I can say for now.
Thank you.
Yes, I think my final word will also be to the current players. As I said earlier on, either you like it or not, one day you'll be saying goodbye to football, or football will be saying goodbye to you earlier. And the lifespan of our job it's more or less 10 years, because if you start by 16, 18, by 20 you are pro, and if by 30, 35 you are done, 10 years. But within these 10 years, you'll be fortunate to be on top for 3 to 4 years. So that means whatever money you'll be able to make within these 3 to 4 years, it's something that you're going to rely on after your playing career. And therefore, it is very, very important for every footballer, every current footballer, to always think about this. It is just recently we had the likes of Ronaldo, Messi, and co, who have been able to sustain to be on top for almost like 10 years. It never happens.
More than
Now,
that.
in our world here, so if you are lucky to be on top 3 to 4 years, whatever you accumulate within these 3 to 4 years is what you are going to live on for the rest of your life. So be mindful of the job, don't waste money, and don't mess around.
Philip?
Yeah, for me, you know, the biggest thing is the life partner you choose and then the friends you choose. Those two people, they can, you know, make
Make
or
make you.
make you.
Philip, thank you so much. Philip is a player relations manager for the PFAG. And of course, Yussuf Chibsah is an ex-Ghana international in the lead at the PFAG. And of course, Laryea Kingston is an assistant coach of the under-17 national team, the men's national team of Ghana. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks to the whole production team at Joy Sports. We'll be back next week with another show. And of course, watch this space. There's still a lot more to come. I'll be back on your radio as we demystify the art of MCing on Showbiz A to Z with Kwame Dazi, with the rest of my colleagues as well. So, not yet. I'm not saying goodbye to you yet. But Elton John Broby is here with a Joy Headline News at 2, named after the legendary Elton John. You have a good one. I'll catch you next week. My name